Kyle Busch just dropped a bombshell on NASCAR. Kyle Busch has a bitter taste in his mouth after the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series season ended. For the first time in 19 years, the two-time Cup Series winner failed to win a single game, ending a run that had grown synonymous with his name. To make matters worse, Busch had a whopping 8 did-not-finish DNF incidents this season, a record that says everything about the difficulties he endured on the track. And now he has hit back at NASCAR for all that happened in 2024. As we approach the 2025 Daytona 500, which is slated for February 16th, all eyes are on Busch. The strain is increasing, and the stakes could not be higher. Known as the Great American Race, the Daytona 500 is the pinnacle of the NASCAR Cup Series season. It's a race where luminaries like Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt Sr. have left their mark on history with multiple wins. Despite his triumphs, Kyle Busch remains in the unpleasant position of pursuing an elusive win. In a recent interview, Busch made a tragic confession that stunned the NASCAR community. Despite his amazing career statistics, 231 victories in all 3 NASCAR National Series and 63 Cup race victories, Busch refuses to call himself a legend without the Daytona 500 trophy in his cabinet. He stated, "Being still in the driver's seat, racing every Sunday, do I feel like today that I would be a failure if I didn't win that race? Yes." This statement demonstrates Busch's strong desire to win the Daytona 500. It's more than just another race for him. It's the missing link in an otherwise outstanding career. The Harley J. Earl Trophy, which is handed to the winner of the Daytona 500, is the only honor he has yet to receive in his 2-decade Cup Series career. As the 2025 season approaches, Richard Childress Racing, RCR, is preparing for the big event. They've launched a 6-part miniseries that will provide fans with an unprecedented inside look at the team's Daytona 500 preparations. Kyle Busch will appear in the series, along with teammates Austin Dillon, Jesse Love, and Austin Hill, to provide insight into the intense preparation required for NASCAR's biggest event. Busch's determination to halt his run of failures is evident. In the promotional video for the RCR miniseries, he underlined the importance of the Daytona 500, calling it basically the Super Bowl of racing. He referred to the Daytona 500 as the equivalent of the Super Bowl in racing. If you haven't been there, you should go at least once. It's the race that NASCAR was founded on. Many people in NASCAR agree with this viewpoint. According to Frank Kelleher, president of Daytona International Speedway, the Daytona 500 is a one-of-a-kind event that combines great racing and entertainment, as seen by the event's consistent sellouts. You can literally sense the atmosphere as soon as Speed Weeks begins. The audience is ecstatic, and every team, from the driver to the crew chief, is eager to get the season underway. The 2025 Daytona 500 will be the 10th consecutive year of a sellout audience, with over 250,000 people in attendance. The energy on the track is tremendous, increasing the pressure on drivers like Busch to succeed. Looking back on Busch's 2024 season, it is evident that luck was not on his favor. He came perilously close to winning on several occasions. In Atlanta, he lost out on the win by 0.004 seconds in a 3-way finish. At the Coke Zero Sugar 400, he was defeated by Harrison Burton in another thrilling finish. However, by the conclusion of the season, Busch rediscovered his previous form, scoring a string of top 10 finishes that has given supporters optimism for a successful 2025 season. As we approach the 2025 Daytona 500, odds makers are giving Busch a fighting shot. According to DraftKings Sportsbook, as of January 24, 2025, Busch has plus 1,100 odds to win the race, making him one of the favorites. NASCAR journalist Bob Pockrass recently discussed Busch's possibilities for the 2025 season. Pockrass anticipates Busch's return to form, but expressed fears about his future with RCR if the team suffers again. If they perform well off the start, you think, okay, he's good to stay. But how will he feel if they are struggling? How much will he browse around, and where will he end up? That might become a major plotline, particularly by April or May. Away from the track, Busch's racing legacy is already being carried forward by his children. His 9-year-old son, Brexton, is making waves on the junior racing circuit. Brexton most recently received the Golden Driller Award in the junior sprint category at the 2025 Tulsa Shootout. He has also won many races at Millbridge Speedway, including the Beginner Box Stock Championship in 2021 and 2023. Not to be outdone, Busch's 2-year-old daughter, Lennox, appears to be following in her father's tire footprints. She was recently spotted driving her maiden laps in a dirt car at Millbridge Speedway, with delighted parents Kyle and Samantha watching on. Samantha posted on Instagram, "Lenny's first laps at Millbridge. Looks like we may have another racer in the family." On the sponsorship front, Rebel Bourbon has renewed its agreement with Richard Childress Racing and Kyle Busch for the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series. The firm, which previously collaborated with Busch and RCR on a 3-race campaign in 2024, will return as a multi-race major sponsor for the number 8 Chevrolet. Rebel Bourbon's brand manager, Philip Lux, expressed excitement about the ongoing partnership. "We can't wait to keep the excitement going in 2025 after connecting with thousands of Rebel, Kyle Busch, and RCR fans last season who have a rebellious spirit and live against the grain. We're expanding on year 1's success with a lot more in store for fans at the track, race markets, and retail, as well as a lot of interactive social content in year 2. As Busch prepares for another run at the Daytona 500, he is acutely aware of his place in NASCAR history. When asked about the significance of winning the race, Busch likened himself to past NASCAR greats who had never won the title. Until the Daytona 500 box is checked off, yeah, I mean, it's missing, right? There's no check mark there. But does it help to secure your career or justify what you've done or achieved here? I do not think so. Mark Martin, Rusty Wallace, and Tony Stewart are examples of greats that made it to the Hall of Fame despite not winning the race. But it would be good to not have to worry about it and have this trophy at home. As the 2025 Daytona 500 approaches, Kyle Busch finds himself at a crossroads in his legendary career. For 2 decades, he has been a dominant force in NASCAR, recognized for his ferocious competitiveness, unrivaled adaptability, and obvious driving ability. Despite his extensive list of accomplishments, the lack of a Daytona 500 victory remains a conspicuous hole that both motivates and haunts him. For Busch, this race is more than just another challenge. It is the defining moment he has yet to achieve, the last piece of the puzzle that will cement his legacy as one of the all-time greats. The stakes are higher than ever as Busch prepares for one of his career's most important races. With the strain growing, he faces not only the weight of fan and expert expectations, but also the uncertainty of his future with Richard Childress Racing. For Busch, the 2025 season is about more than just winning and losing. It's about demonstrating to himself, his team, and the NASCAR world that he can still compete at the greatest level. A Daytona 500 victory would not only cap off his amazing career, but it would also put an end to any speculation about his place in NASCAR history. Off the track, Busch's influence on the sport is evident. His children's growing racing careers reflect the enduring legacy he is creating, which reaches far beyond his own accomplishments. As NASCAR prepares to welcome a new generation of racers and spectators, Kyle Busch's tale is far from over. The 2025 Daytona 500 might be the final chapter in an already outstanding career, making it into one that will be remembered for centuries.